Today, October 22nd, 2009, marks the date of Microsoft unveiling their latest operating system, Windows 7, to the general public in stores and on new machines. Windows 7 is the successor to the unacclaimed Windows Vista that has been hit hard by the press and unsatisfactory customers for the past 2.5 years. And Windows 7 is supposed to provide some promising new features, such as Windows Arrow Shake, the Windows auto tiling and auto maximizing features, the Windows 3D Flip, and Arrow Peak, to name a few of the features of the new Windows 7 operating system. Windows 7 comes in a variety of different editions, and we'll start with the lowest one, the Windows 7 Starter. Windows 7 Starter is pretty much the equivalent of Windows Vista Home Basic. This will be used on the lower end class of computers and primarily with the netbook computers, replacing the Windows XP Home Edition operating system that has been used on those for the past 2 years. And this is because the specs of a netbook are generally not as high as you would have with the average computer, and with the starter edition of Windows 7 you'll get the basic operating system with just a limited set of features. You won't have as much personalization or performance optimizations as you would with the newer editions. Now, for the average notebook or desktop computer, you'll be getting Windows 7 Home Premium, which of course is the successor of Windows Vista Home Premium. So you'll get pretty much the same features of Home Premium that you would in Windows 7 Home Premium, with the personalization and customization you would have with that OS edition. Now, for business users that are running Windows Vista Business, your version will be Windows 7 Professional. So you will get all the security and business oriented abilities of Windows with Windows 7 Professional. And then there's the top of the line edition for the power users, where they can get Windows 7 Ultimate, and that is the successor of Windows Vista Ultimate. And you will get all the benefits of Home Premium and Windows 7 Professional all in the same package. Now, there is one other edition out there, and it's not really a separate edition, but it's a variant of the Home Premium edition of Windows 7, and that's the Windows 7 Home Premium Family Pack. Now, all editions of Windows 7 come with one valid license key for use on one computer. With Windows 7 Home Premium Family Pack, you've got 3 valid license keys, so you can use that Windows 7 Home Premium OS on up to 3 different computers. So, now let's discuss a little bit on the premise about upgrading to Windows 7, and or if you should just go ahead and get a new computer that has Windows 7 pre-installed on it as part of OEM. Now, if you're a Vista user, you're perfectly okay to upgrade to Windows 7. And if you've bought a computer in the past few months that has Vista on it, you are supposed to be eligible for a free Windows 7 upgrade. So if you've registered for that upgrade in the past, you should start getting your shipment for your upgrade starting today. Now, with XP users, well, that's a bit of a different story. You cannot upgrade from XP to Windows 7 directly. You will have to reformat your computer, so you will have to back up all your data and programs and do a clean install of Windows 7 on that machine, and then reinstall all your programs on the new Windows 7 operating system and restore your data. You can't do an upgrade from XP to Windows 7. Only Vista can upgrade to Windows 7 because it borrows a lot of the Vista components that are not in XP to do the upgrade. Now, something that both XP users and Vista users will have to know when going over to Windows 7 is, and I've discovered this myself, if you have applications that can run okay in XP and or Windows Vista, when you go over to Windows 7, you will have to watch out for compatibility issues. Because I had a program or two that could run in Vista just fine that could not run in Windows 7 when I tried its release candidate. Now, I don't know if that will change with the actual retail copies they're putting out today, but with the release candidate, I could not run programs that ran in Vista on Windows 7. So you'll have to be wary of that. And speaking of the upgrades, we'll look a little bit at the pricing, and I've got a funny chart here that kind of shows where the editions of Windows 7 can go if you want to step up from another edition, and how much the retail cost of that edition will cost you. So we have a chart here, and I'll give you about 30 seconds and you can decipher this chart for yourself. Now, it isn't just about Windows 7 coming out, but also a lot of computer manufacturers are also releasing new systems today for running the new Windows 7 operating system. Like, for instance, Acer's got a 3D notebook that's being released today that's going to run the Windows 7 operating system. HP has another touch-enabled computer that's going to be running Windows 7 coming out today. And you've also got a new series of computers coming from Toshiba and Lenovo that are going to be running the new Windows 7 operating system computers on there. So if you're looking in the market for a new computer running Windows 7, you might want to look at some of the PCs that these manufacturers are releasing today, with the Windows 7 operating system up and running on those pre-installed, if you want to consider a new system. And for last words, all I have to say is I'm going to wait and see how the average consumer, and by average consumer I mean the people that will be buying Windows 7 that haven't tried out the release candidate or anything like that, just based on reading press and information online or from people that have worked with it, to see what they're going to be thinking about it, and also to see how the press will be treating Windows 7 throughout its life, now that it's being released for the first time, how it's going to get perceived by the general public.